Hello and welcome to Walking the Earth podcast. I'm Justin Castle.
And I'm Mike Margulies, calling in today from Koh Rong Island, Cambodia. Although that might be a little bit redundant, because doesn't Koh mean island, I think? So Koh Rong is a little bit redundant. Koh Rong Island's a little bit redundant. But I'm sitting here today with Yolanda, who's been living in Koh Rong for, I don't know, a year or so now?
Yep, almost a year.
Yeah, and has some kind of management capacity role on several of the different guest houses and
something
cafes.
along those lines.
You basically run most of Koh Rong, it seems.
I'm the secretary to Koh Rong. I do the spreadsheets. I carry a clipboard.
Assistant to the regional manager.
So you're basically...
No, I just found myself an office job on an island.
Yeah. Koh Rong's kind of an interesting place, though, right? Because it's the first place that I've come to in my travels so far where there's so many people that are here for an extended time. Like expat, foreigners that are here for a long time.
Cambodia in general has a massive and really quickly growing expat community because in the last few years it's just opened its doors to tourism and it's really easy to get a business visa here.
Yeah.
You just pay $5 more and you can come and you can work, you can get it renewed for as long as you want to. Apparently they're starting to crack down on it a little bit now, but for the moment you can get it extended unlimited amount of times. I've already got mine extended for over a year now. I've been in Cambodia since the end of February last year.
Wow.
And I just get 6 months, then another 3 months, and another month, and see how long I want to stay.
It makes me think I got the wrong visa because I came to Cambodia, I just got the normal, I guess, tourist visa
Yeah.
instead of the business visa.
Yep.
But you're allowed to just get a business visa,
Anyone
right?
can get a business visa. I just wrote on the form, like, what are you going to do? Work. It's like, okay.
Yeah. And the business one you can actually just extend here rather than doing a visa
Yeah,
run.
you don't need to go to the border to get it extended. On your tourist visa, you can get extended for 1 month, but your business visa, unlimited amount of time. And whereas it costs like $50 to renew your tourist visa, you're only paying per month for the business visa, so it'll be like $25 each time.
You don't have to have a business per se sponsor you. You just literally pay extra money and that's it. Wow. Is that correct?
Yeah, because it's not actually a business visa. It's a regular visa. They have a tourist visa, which means that you can only stay for 2 months before you've got to go to the border, or they've got a regular visa, which means you can work, you can do whatever you want, and it just costs $5 more than the tourist visa.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I had no
and
idea.
I think, well, Cambodia, it's got an interesting history, and I think that's part of the reason why this is going. And a lot of people, I think, in the U.S. are definitely not aware of this.
It was only 30 years ago that Cambodia basically experienced a genocide. So there's massive skills gaps. They are looking for people to come in with skills to teach locals.
And specifically, the genocide was against all the educated people.
Yeah,
in Cambodia.
It was against all the teachers, all the anyone that would. To teach. They wanted everyone to go back to the land and be farmers. So anyone that was educated or skilled was killed off.
So now they have this massive gap of skills, basically, like you were saying.
Yeah,
right?
It's a skills gap, and really, the people here are just so friendly. They just want everyone coming in.
I noticed that everyone's very, very friendly here.
Well, one guy put it to me once is they're just happy to be alive.
Yeah, that's
How?
that gives you some perspective, I guess.
Have you never heard of any horror stories or anything shady in Cambodia? Like, it's literally your experiences have been pretty awesome.
I wouldn't say I haven't heard of horror stories or shady experiences in Cambodia. It is the most corrupt country in the world for a reason.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think so. It's there's all sorts of stories that you hear, but on the island things tend to be fairly safe. Like here on Koh Rong, it's a big island. It's 78 square kilometers. But there's only really one beach that's developed for tourism. There are no roads. Up until a couple of months ago, there was only one boat service that came here, and it took 2 hours to get here from the mainland.
Whoa.
Last couple of months, we've now got a fast boat service. You can get here in 45 minutes. But it's really underdeveloped. It's a load of huts on the beach.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
so where are you
Which
calling
is
me? Where
awesome,
you guys
by the way,
calling me
I might
from?
add.
One of these huts on the beach. We still got Wi-Fi.
Yeah. It's huts on the beach with Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah.
Where'd they run the line from? Where'd they get the Wi-Fi line?
Actually, the Wi-Fi came here 2 years ago when they were filming the French version of Survivor.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
They filmed Survivor on the island, and so they put up the Wi-Fi for the Soksan base camp, which was where they were filming it. And they did that 1 year, and then they came back last year while I was here, and they were going to film the second series. But on the first day, one of the contestants had a heart attack.
Whoa.
Holy shit. So that put a stop to the plans.
Yeah, that it completely
okay?
cancelled that series. No, he died, and then the international media got hold of it, and they started calling up the doctor here, who was like a local guy who was meant to be the doctor on set, and then he ended up killing himself because it was all too much pressure. And
Wow.
yeah, that was pretty dramatic.
Well, there's your answer to your first question, Castle. Is there any shady shit going on?
Oh, that's not even shady
That's
shit.
not even shady, right?
That's just some of the the drama of the island.
That's nuts. But that gave the positive spin on this is you have Wi-Fi. because
Positive
of the
spin
show.
is that since the TV show came, we've got Wi-Fi. It runs. You can see the cable going all the way along the path to Long Beach. There's like a trek through the jungle that's like you have to climb in places and like rocks, ropes, all of that sort of thing, like proper jungle trek. And there's during rainy season, if some of the mud's washed away, you can see this like one internet cable just like weaving through the jungle along the path.
There's one cable that services the island, basically.
Well, I think that services the other side. So it's
okay.
so that the other side have Wi-Fi. It comes like all the way from this side over there.
Ah, cool.
And
Yeah, and this whole island actually is all the development's been pretty recent also, right? It's only the last, year or two that this has been happening?
The oldest guest house on the island has been here for 10 years.
Okay.
But up until about 3 years ago, there was 3 or 4 resorts on the island. It wasn't a place for backpackers to go. And then it's only in the last 2 years that the backpacker tourism has really started to develop and kick off. And all 3 businesses that I work for have opened in the last year and a bit. And one of them is now one of the busiest backpacker bars on the beach. Anywhere that was open before that is really a sort of more of a resort and sort of further down. But now in the last year, I've seen probably 10 or more businesses start up.
It's wild.
It's just every local villager is knocking down their house and building a guest house because they can make a lot of money with it right now. Like tourism is booming at such a quick rate that
Koh Rong's just undergoing this massive expansion.
Yeah, well, Monkey Island, who've been here for 3 years. The owner there was saying that this low season was busier for them than the high season last year.
Wow.
that's nuts.
Yeah, so you've got this. It's a really kind of interesting situation, right? Because and Koh Rong in particular, there's all these new guest houses being built up, and because of the basically the genocide that happened years ago, lots of foreigners are basically being brought in or are coming in and are being hired to help develop these businesses or are developing them, basically. So you've got this really cool mix here of people, like foreigners, basically living in Koh Rong, or are living in Koh Rong, I should say.
Yeah.
And the deal usually is something like, okay, so you work at the desk or the bar, and in exchange you get your room and board paid for. So basically, I guess what I'm saying is...
Usually room, food, and booze.
Yeah,
and that's
that booze too.
That's a pretty good deal. I would do that.
Yeah.
So basically, anyone who wants to can essentially come to Koh Rong, Cambodia, you'll get a job. I've gotten offered jobs actually a couple times. I'm not even looking for one. You can get a job at one of these guest houses. You basically just, a lot of times when you're working, you're just kind of hanging out.
The key is stick around long enough and you'll find something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it took me 4 days to find a job as an artist, because I came here and I had friends working bar, and I was like, oh, you know, I've done my part, bar work when I was 18, I'm ahead of that now, I'm doing other things, you know. But, you know, an artist, yeah, I'll get free alcohol to paint some shit. Like,
yeah. And that was your first, I think you were telling us before we started recording, but that was your first job here on the island. You
yeah,
showed up and...
I got, I was here for 4 days, and I got hired to paint a bar that was sort of just opening. It sort of had a few people staying, but it was calling itself Construction Guest House because it still had loads of work going on. And they already had some hippie stuff going on. They had some handprints on the walls, and, and it sort of said the universe provides somewhere. So
I love that expression. I've been using it all the time lately.
It's this expression for this island, the universe provides.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just gave me free reign to paint on the walls, and I think what Dave told me, like my boss that hired me said, I'll give you some free food, a room, free booze, and some pretty shitty food. I was like, yeah, all right, that sounds good enough to me.
Those are the 3 things I was looking for.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, no, and then
and you worked.
I worked there for a while. And I was like, this food is shitty. I want to improve it. Can I do something about the kitchen?
And is
so
that
you
what
did?
you is that
And
what
so
you
I did.
did? Okay. And then you
Yeah,
became
so
the queen of that business, and then you went on to those other businesses you're working at. How did that work out?
Well, I managed Vagabonds for 6 months. So like within 2 weeks, we had an opening party, and
So
I
you got
gave my
promoted
boss,
from artist to manager.
Yeah.
At some point.
So I was painting.
Mrs. Manager.
I was working every day painting, and then I took 1 day off to go camping. And because I hadn't been there during the day, when I came back, I was, I'm so sorry, I've been off for like 24 hours. And I gave my boss the night off and threw an opening party. And that night we took more than we had done in the last week. We took like $700 in a night. We were able to pay our rent that month, which we hadn't been able to do that before.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
So you got to break even.
Yeah, while he was drunkenly stumbling around the party and I was working really hard, he said, "You're a fantastic manager."
And you were just basically less drunk than him. And
I wasn't
taking
drunk
care
at
of
all,
business.
actually. I was looking after the business. I enjoyed it. Like, I'd been traveling, doing fuck all. No, I haven't been working for 5 months. I was quite enjoying actually having something to do. And my goal coming away had been, I want to go traveling and then start a business.
Yeah.
So I'd been like
Samesies.
doing all this traveling thing, and then I was going to go back and start something. So here allowed me to start something without having to invest any of my own money, because I don't have any. And on a paradise island, which,
Yeah.
you know, where could be better?
That's the thing that's so incredible about this place, right? Like you can if you want to, you can move to an island and live here, provide for yourself, get a job really easily, and provide for all your basic needs: your housing, your food,
Yeah,
your
it's-
booze, all the basic three
It's not
basic
completely
needs.
free.
Right.
Like,
True.
when
Well-
I got here a year ago, I had some money in my bank account, and I don't anymore.
where
And I got a paid job fairly quickly. Most people, you won't get paid work on the island.
Right. You just get you paid into.
You get paid in
exchange for-
accommodation, food, alcohol. I get $150 a month now. And I still probably spend over by about $50, $100 a month.
Yeah.
So like, you island, and yet
Wow.
I'll still eat other places because
Right.
sometimes I want to drink in the place that's got a pool table instead of the one where I get free
Yeah.
alcohol. You know.
So it's good to have a little bit of cash flow.
Yeah.
Still.
Oh, plus, you know, drinking in the place where I work, I'll always have to answer a question or something. Someone will always get me to work in some small way. So if I really want time off, I've got to go somewhere else.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you show up to somewhere where you
If I show up to somewhere where I work, people are going to say,
Ask
"Oh,
you
who's coming in the
questions.
booking? What's
Yeah.
going on with this?" Like, sometimes I need to hide, and sometimes I need to go to the mainland. That's the expensive thing. Is
Yeah.
that once you're used to all of this, like free food, free alcohol, and everything, and then occasionally you get island fever, and it all gets a bit much of living on an island and not seeing civilization, and you need to go and get some hot shower and a bit of aircon and all of that sort of thing. But that'll cost you like $100 for a couple of nights there. Which,
Yeah, exactly.
is
Well, to get the boat, right? The round trip on the boat is $30 or something, I think.
I get free boat rides.
Oh, you get free boat rides. Okay, another perk you've got.
I'm telling you, you're the queen of Koh Rong.
She is. So actually, if you want to, there's no ATMs on this island also, and so if you want to get money, you have two options basically. So you can take the boat into town for like $30, but I was like,
Or you can give me your passport.
or what I did was I gave Yolanda my passport and she spotted me some money. So this is your other business you've got going on, is the money loaning business.
Yeah, we're now
that's
cash
a
loan.
great business.
It is a great,
10%.
yeah, she gets 10%. So I guess for me,
Dude,
I don't get that 10%.
Oh, she doesn't get it all.
I like that. That's just what I'm doing for my boss.
Right.
He
Mike,
Yeah.
Mike. All right, Yolanda, Mike. I don't know if you want to conspire on this, but here's what you do. You go back, you order an ATM connected to that single
That's actually a good
internet
idea.
connection, and you make bank. You
That
have
is
the
a really
only
good
ATM
idea.
on the island.
I actually know someone, or a few people that have tried very similar things. They got one of those chip and pin readers. They had one going at Frank's before it burnt down, but they still got to charge like 8%, which when you can do a cash loan for 10%, and you don't need to worry about all of those like internet going down, all that sort of bollocks.
Right.
It didn't work 50% of the time. It was more hassle. We need to send money over to the mainland frequently anyway to do our shopping. So this is just an easy way for us to send it over.
Yeah.
In that, we've got a guy over there that does our shopping. We send him the passport. He meets people with the passport. They give him the money. Easy.
Yeah, and it works out for everybody really, because so for me, my alternative was spend $30 for a round trip and a few hours of time to go to the mainland. As long as I'm taking out, say, less than $300 at 10%, I've spent the same amount of money to get. I'm gonna spend $30 either way to get more money.
Well, we don't.
And now I don't have the time.
One
I don't have to spend the
passport is
time.
max $300 anyway, because you pay that. Again.
So once I get to my $300 limit, I'll have to actually go to the mainland and go to the ATM. But you don't spend that much money here. I mean, relative to other places in Southeast Asia, this is not the cheapest. You are paying more being on an island here than you would say in, like I was in Chiang Mai.
More.
Everything's like accommodations more, food's more.
Yeah.
But relative to say living in the U.S. or England, it's still very cheap. So we're talking, you can get a dorm bed for $7, or a private room for 15 to 20. Relative to what I was paying in other places, you pay $5 a night, right?
But also compared to other paradise islands,
Yeah.
like say I paid $500 for a week in the Caribbean.
Yeah, exactly. So when you compare it to like that, you're like, wait, this is still way cheaper.
Yeah.
By my standards now, backpacking, this is expensive. But wait, let me take a step back for a second.
Yeah.
$15 for a private room on a paradise island.
Yeah.
$15 a night. If that's expensive, then that's a good situation.
Yeah.
What is the accommodation that you get for $15? Like, what is it? What does it
You
look like?
would
Describe
get
it
a
to me
basic room
using
with
adjective.
basic mosquito net, cozy.
The rooms at Dreamcatcher are pretty nice, though.
Actually, Dreamcatch, we've got some really nice rooms.
You get a double-sized bed.
Yeah, big beds there. But even Dreamcatch, which is quite high-end accommodation, we don't have fans working in all the rooms. The electricity is we're entirely solar powered.
Electricity.
So our electric works, but it all runs on 12 volts, which is cars. So we've got to have the inverter, and then the fans over here are also shoddy that they break within a month. Then you got to buy new ones, and getting all of that sort of thing sorted just means most places don't bother. Like, especially if you've got a generator, you're not going to run electricity during the day, so there's no point in really having fans.
Yeah, I mean, so there are
Gotcha.
some, I guess, island pains, if you want to call them that, if you want to. But at the end of the day, you get a room for $15, and if you're splitting with someone, you're paying $7 or $8 each. You're getting a good bed, you're getting Wi-Fi and electricity and everything, and a paradise island. Yeah, you don't have
What's
to sort
the
of a fan
room
or something, but
What's the room look like? Because so far you've described, the
got
places
pink-
you've been.
it's a pink bed.
They're all like huts. They're all like they don't look fully enclosed. What does it look like?
They're not fully enclosed. They've got gaps at the top of the walls for ventilation. But most of the rooms at Dreamcatch are they've got like pink frilly sheets and like pink and purple pillowcases with cats on them and a pink mosquito net with flowers all over it. And then over low season, when it just opened, we had a lot of people staying that was just like artists stay for free. We had a big sign up outside saying artists stay for free for a while.
Really?
Yeah. So we just had a load of people coming in and painting their rooms. So a lot
do
of
musicians count as artists?
Yeah. In low season.
In low season.
Like in low season, when it's raining, all the rooms go down to like $3-5 a night for a private room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that's how a lot of people that sort of are living on this island now sort of came to be here for long-term tourists, is that in low season it's really cheap to live here. Yeah, you can get your own private room for $3. There's so many rooms, there's not enough tourists. Prices drop massively.
Yeah, it was like that similar in Goa,
Yeah.
India. And in the off season in September, I was splitting a room with someone for $4 or $5, so we each paid $250 or something.
Yeah.
But then in the high season, it went up to $10 or a cheap room. The cheapest I could find in the whole place was $10.
Prices double in December.
Yeah.
And then they double
Yeah.
again for Christmas and
Right.
Chinese New Year.
Chinese New Year.
Chinese New Year was a trick that we missed this year. The island didn't double, even though we were fully booked, and I should have seen it beforehand. But the mainland all raised their prices, and it's like, when they do it, then we can do it.
Yeah. Chinese New Year, man,
I see.
I had that when my visa expired for Thailand a month or two ago, I came to Laos, and it was right in the middle of Chinese New Year. So I show up to Laos, and I'm looking for a room. And so I'll go in a couple guest houses and say, okay, how much for a room? They say 40, thinking they mean 40,000 kip,
Yeah.
which would be $5. And I said, 40,000 kip, that's good. And they said, no, 40 US dollars for a night.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, whoa, what? What country am I in right now?
Yeah.
And it was because of the Chinese New Year. There were so many people, and
Yeah.
eventually I did find a place for 40,000 kip. But it took me a day searching around this sit in Luang Prabang, Laos
We
to
had
actually
that
find
problem
it.
in Luang Prabang. I think because in Luang Prabang you arrive there on a slow boat.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're coming in through Thailand, so they know that you're going to get 50 people looking for rooms
At the same
same time.
It's wild.
So they raise their prices massively.
It's crazy.
I think if you look around at a different time of day, that's not when the slow boat's coming
Yeah.
in, then you're a lot likely to find cheaper rooms.
Well, that's what
But
we did in the morning the next day.
Everyone had already agreed that it was $5-6 a night, and we were just like, what? Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, when I got on the boat, I ended up the first night. Actually, luckily, another backpacker. He ended up getting a room for 20, and I split it with him, so we each paid 10. So it wasn't terrible. But the next morning, we went searching before the slow boat arrived and found the cheaper hostel. But yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we found one to split between 3 people, so we managed to get it all right.
But Luang Prabang is neat also because of the slow boat thing. Because what ends up happening is you've now been in a slow boat with a group of people for 2 days. Now all of you, this whole circle of friends you've had for a couple days, is now in the same city together. So everyone you know is hanging out in Luang Prabang and going to the bowling alley at night.
And everyone's doing exactly the same
Yeah, exactly.
trip.
Yeah, Luang Prabang to Vang Vieng to Vientiane.
Yeah, and so you bump into the same people over and over
Yeah, everyone
again.
starts north and Laos and works their way south.
Yeah, I found that because I stayed on Don Det for quite a while in the south of Laos, I stayed there for 9 days, and then I
Go figure,
travelled
you
around
stayed on an island for a long time.
Yeah, the north of Cambodia for quite a while, so I ended up losing most of the people that were on my trip down. Like,
Right.
everyone was ahead of me.
Yeah, timing went off.
Yeah, it's like I
happened to
managed
me
sort of
also.
lose everyone, but you meet so many more people when you just stay in one place. Like when
Yeah.
you're traveling, you meet the same people over and over again, and when you stay in one place, everyone you meet, because
That's true.
everyone will come through, and it's a much better way of meeting people.
Yeah, it's
I
kind
find.
of like You wouldn't think that's how it would work, that staying put, you meet more people. But it is kind of that way, right? Because if you are moving around a circuit, you're basically with the same group. But yeah, when I was staying in Chiang Mai for 3
I
weeks.
understand.
Yeah, so yeah, when I was staying for 3 weeks in the same place, every 4 or 5 days, there'd be a new cycle of people. So a group of people would come in, and inevitably 4 or 5 days later, the group would all leave at the same time because they're all friends now, and they're like, oh, let's go to Pai. They'd all leave together. And then now there's availability in the hostel. Yep. Another group of people comes in. So every few days there'd be like a new group.
You notice it here on the island. Like the island will just suddenly get really quiet, and like everyone will check down. It's because everyone's met each other in the hostel, made friends with each other, and they're moving on to the places together.
Yeah. It's really interesting how the whole thing works.
The backpacking cycle.
The backpacking cycle. I like to call it the residence time of a city. Yeah. It's kind of like each city's got a certain typical amount of time where someone will stay. So it's like maybe it's 3 days, maybe it's 4 days, varies by city. But if you stay in a particular city past its residence time, you're gonna meet a whole new group of people.
You see the whole new people. Yeah, definitely.
Yolanda, do you have a bunch of people that you know on the island besides your boss, or is it a small?
Yeah.
Like you have your crew.
Yeah, we've got a good little crew, and the turnover of the island tends to be like in high season people stay for a lot longer. So at the moment we've got a lot of people that have been here since about October when the high season began. So there's most of the staff on the island I've known since then, and there's a few people that are like the hardcore crew that either arrived during low season or before then. That are still here, but there's only really a handful of us. There's for people that don't have a stake in a business here, and don't dive or something like that. I think that there's only 3 other people that have been here longer than me. There's 2 of the bar staff at Monkey Island and 1 at Mango. But the turnover's really quick. So although we get a good crew, we get a good community, and you meet some great friends, they'll still all leave. Everybody leaves.
But again, that's also relative, right?
Yolanda.
So it's a high turnover.
Yep.
Well, I want to know like when Yolanda. So everybody leaves. When are you leaving? Do you have
1
a
month.
plan, or are you just going with it right now?
No, I've only got a month left. When I didn't go home last June, I said I'd stay for a year. So I've stayed for a year now. I've seen the whole high season through. I've seen all the seasons through, from low season through to high. And now it's time for me to move on.
Yeah. And also,
where's next? Go ahead.
Next, I'm going to go back to Thailand for a little bit. When I stayed here for the Khmer New Year last year, I told my boss that I'd be going to Thailand for Songkran next year. So that's what I'm doing.
I'm probably heading to Thailand also, so we'll probably be seeing each other.
So
are you going to Chiang Mai for that?
Yeah, Chiang Mai for Songkran.
By the way, Songkran, if you don't know what it is, it's this big water fight in Thailand for like a week or something.
Yeah, basically, a week-long water festival.
You walk on the street and people have water guns and just soak you everywhere you're going.
Yeah. So I'm going to go and soak people with a water pistol for a week, and then go and live in a monastery for a week, and then go home.
The whole range of experiences, from like water fighting to monastery.
Yeah, well, I've lived on a party island for a year now, and I think I need some more spiritual time, maybe a bit of a detox.
I need a detox. I've only been here for like a week and a half, and I feel like, holy shit. Like last night, there was a party last night. I didn't make it out because I was just like, I'm partied out right now.
I don't go out drinking often.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered with that anymore. Maybe I'm getting old. But yeah, like I think living here and free alcohol, it's put me off booze.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like an amazing time, and the way you describe it, it sounds like that movie The Island with Leonardo DiCaprio.
The beach. It is the beach. The only difference between here and the beach is that we tell people about it.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't kill people. You don't kill people, or
there's only been one murder on the island so far.
Whoa. I guess that's like nothing.
We wanted to know about the shady shit.
Relatively.
I told you there was shady shit.
Yeah.
This is Cambodia.
Man.
But yeah, there is still untouched beaches on this island. Like, as I said, there's one island beach that's developed for tourism. 28 beaches. 2 of them have like one guest house on each one, but yeah, you can still grab a tent, go find yourself a bit of beach, a bit of forest, and just camp out. Like I met people here last year that and more this year that are doing that. They just stay for weeks. They get their own little stove, a tent, like just go live out in the jungle. It's possible.
You can hire someone, a local, for a few bucks to take you on a boat to a completely empty island and stay there for a couple days. It's amazing.
That's what
pretty
Mike did
cool.
the other night.
Yeah, exactly.
A very nice offer.
Yeah, it was great.
Is that what you did? Did you actually do that?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. It was a cool experience.
Nice.
Went with
Nice.
a friend, and 2 of us just hung out on an empty island.
That's
And
cool.
there was like an abandoned temple there, and we just kind of hung out there for a couple days.
That's
You can do that here.
Freaking
It's-
sweet.
It's really cool.
Do you have any photos of that?
I do.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I
I want
can
to
show
see
you.
that.
Are they decent?
Yeah, I don't know if they're I'll send them to you privately.
Okay, appreciated. But I wanted to know. So Yolanda, so your journey onward is going on. Going back to Thailand. You're going to go explore a little bit more. And then where's home? Where's home?
Home is Glastonbury in England. I haven't actually lived there for 10 years, so I'm going to go back there for a few months, spend some time with my parents, as I guess you're meant to do at some point in your life. But really probably say my goodbyes to England. I've realised that living outside of England is so much better than living there. Just like, I want to start a business. I want to, be able to do things, and just being so cheap out here means that your time is worth less, and you can spend time on doing what you want.
Exactly.
So if I want to be developing something and building something, I'd much prefer to be doing it out here where I could survive on a lot less than if I was trying to develop something back in the UK. Which, I don't have the capital to be able to do anything like that at the moment. But what I think I can do is go back there for a few months, save up enough money to get to Australia, work there for a year, save up a lot of money, and then be able to start a business in any cheap country that I want to.
That's
Mike.
precisely it, Like, I feel the same way about living in the U.S. I want to. Part of the reason I'm traveling is also because I want to start a business. And so if I'm living in the U.S., it's so much more expensive that I'm going to have to spend my time working a pretty intense job just to pay for my bills. But if you're living somewhere like Southeast Asia, where the cost of living is just so significantly cheaper, you've now saved up money that you earned in dollars or pounds, and now you're exchanging it for real or for baht.
What my boyfriend here does is he runs his own business. He's a freelance graphic designer. In Australia, that didn't earn him enough to survive. He was living on friends' floors and doing a bit of woofing, like that sort of thing. But over here, getting paid $100 for a logo design can last you a week.
Yeah, exactly.
And also,
Absolutely.
since he's been out here, he's getting all of the work for all of these businesses that are growing and need all their graphic design work and logos being made and menus created and business cards and all that sort of thing. He's getting tons of work, and he's doing it
I need
in
to
return
get business
for,
cards, actually.
He's doing it in return for tabs, just getting like the food and drinks, and like what all the other staff get paid in. He just gets like a $50 tab here for designing their logo, or $100 there for doing something else for them. So like it's like I'm trying to tell a lot of my friends back home about it at the moment because
Yeah.
as a freelancer, like if you can do all of your work from a laptop, just being able to live in communities out here, like the internet's good enough in Southeast Asia. That was the main problem with India, is just the internet wasn't good enough to be able to do it. But out here, Wi-Fi connections are strong enough. I've met quite a few people like writing, managing websites, like doing all sorts. Just like you can.
Yeah, Southeast Asia is we're basically in the Wild East right now. There used to be a Wild West, now there's a Wild East.
Yeah, it is the World Wide East.
And it's an entrepreneur's paradise because you can live for
no rules, no tax.
no rules, yeah, exactly. And you can live for really cheap. Basically, what it allows you to do is because you can live more cheaply here than back in the U.S. or the U.K. You have the time. You're not having to work an intense job all your time. You have the time to spend on building a business, working on your own little brand. And just having that, it's a trade-off, right? So now, okay, you left a job in the UK or the US, so now you're not making all those money, but you're also not spending that money, and what you get in exchange for it is all this time to work on whatever it is your passion is. And that is the single, probably most beautiful thing about this area of the world, is you can do that. You can make your own thing.
And it's still very easy to get distracted by all of the amazing things to do and
too.
see, and the bars to hang out
Right.
in,
Yeah.
and people to meet and drink with, and that sort of thing. Like I've started many ideas since I've been here and not actually sat down and done it, because when the sun's shining and you can go snorkeling, why are you going to be sitting at your computer learning how to code? But at the same time, I did a course at UCLA while I was in Laos. If you just, you say, right, this week I'm doing this. Like, that's why I didn't leave John Dett. It's like, right, I'm staying here for 9 days. I'm not doing anything else. I'm going to do this course in project management. And that's what I did. And it was fun. And
No, you're right, though. It's easy to get distracted. I mean, yesterday, I finally got around to, like, getting my taxes kind of set up and working on that. And it was, it took all of my willpower to, like, sit down on my laptop and, like... It took all my willpower, man, to do that, rather than just go and, like, hang out with people.
It took me a year to cancel my phone contract, because some things become really difficult, like making phone calls to the UK and trying to, because there's no printer on the island or anything like that, so like printing out paperwork. Post in Cambodia is shit as well, so you can't really.
You guys run the post office.
Yeah, we
Who do we look at to blame for that?
We put the first post box on Koh Rong, where we just like painted a cardboard box red and cut a couple of slats in it. But, if my parents weren't asking,
you're the mailman too. You're the mail person too.
Yeah, we do that too. Hey, there was a gap in the market. My parents wanted to send me something, and it's like, where can I send it to? I'm like, well, I guess that you'd have to send it via Monkey Republic, which is a bar on the mainland that have a sister bar on the island. So it would be me, care of Monkey Island, care of Monkey Republic.
Holy shit.
What? Which would never get here in the first place.
That's insane.
And the fact that it would get looked through and anything of value would get taken out before it got here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Cambodia.
Jesus. So don't send by Cambodian mail anything valuable.
Mike, I was gonna send you $1,000, but I guess I won't.
We'll do that. Well, let's risk it.
Yeah.
I have a PayPal account. You can just PayPal it to me.
Bitcoin.
Oh.
It's the way forward.
Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Oh,
Bitcoin.
I guess you saw that thing about Bitcoin and.
Yeah, something happened recently.
I've got a
with
Bitcoin account.
Yeah. Some of them went missing. Like a bunch of Bitcoins just disappeared a few days ago, I think.
That happens.
Yeah.
It's virtual money. Of course, it's gonna happen. But no, it happened.
And the guys that run the exchange are like, "Oh, we don't know what happened."
My friend just got 1,000
Right,
overnight. He was like, he had $5 worth of Bitcoin, and it grew. It was great.
I bought a little bit. I have like $75 when I purchased it of Bitcoins. I don't know if the value's gone up or down. That was 0.1 Bitcoins, so they were selling for $750 at the time.
I don't know how to.
I don't know where it's gone.
What can you buy with it? What can you buy with it?
Silk Road.
More and more things. More and more.
Yeah.
They're like.
What can you buy on an island with Bitcoin? What can you buy on an island with Bitcoin?
You can't buy anything on this island with bitcoins, but you can't buy anything on this island with card either.
Yeah.
Cash only.
It'll be interesting to see if it works, because right now I think one of the main things is the Silk Road. So Silk Road, if you don't know what it is, it's like this underground website where you can get. I've never used it myself. I don't even know how to find it because it's like hidden in the depths of the internet somewhere.
Yeah.
But you can get anything illegal. But it's like a internet
you
black
can buy
market.
all sorts of things on there. You can buy cameras.
Oh, you can buy legal things also?
Yeah, you can buy legal things.
Oh, well, it's known, I guess, for the illegal things you can buy.
Yeah.
Everything from
And
like
more and more
drugs to like
people are
even
doing
like
their
hits
services
on
and
people and
stuff
stuff, like crazy shit you can buy
Yeah,
on that.
Silk Road's
Silk
just
Road's-
another thing, but
Yeah, but you can buy
like-
legitimate things as well with bitcoins now more and more.
yeah, you can buy legitimate things with bitcoins. Silk Road is it still going?
Well, it was
I
shut
thought it was
down,
shut down.
but they restarted it.
Yeah.
I saw an article, of course it was a Vice article about it. I don't know what's going on with it. The whole thing's it's a developing situation, right?
Yeah, well,
Um,
power of the internet.
yeah, we'll see. It'll be really cool if this catches
I want to
on.
buy a spider monkey.
You can probably buy that on Silk Road. But you gotta look at the reviews, see if previous purchasers of spider monkeys, did they receive a spider monkey that was vaccinated? Did they receive?
Right. Was it rabid?
Yeah, exactly.
Did it eat spiders? Is it alive?
But
Was it used or was it new?
I want to do. I guess you want to plug your various businesses.
Oh, I should probably give them a plug.
Yeah.
Like Vagabonds is the cool little hippie beach shack. It's got some beds out on the beach. Best veggie burger. Then we've got Island Boys, the backpacker destination. It's where to go for all your beer pong and chugging beers. I don't like beer. Why am I talking about that place?
But
and
if you
then-
stay at Island Boys, you get 3 free drinks every day.
Yeah, you do get 3
if you
free
remember
drinks.
to show up between 6 and 7.
Yeah, you got to show up at 6 o'clock, and they do a good barbecue. And then Dreamcatch, which is my current little project, my favourite, because it's my baby at the moment. And it's a little hippie cafe. It was what I originally got promised we were going to do with Vagabonds until it turned into a late night bar. But I've got one of my friends from home who's a Glastonbury little fairy chef to cooking like amazing veggie and meat breakfast, but like I sourced the meat from the right places, so we've got the like proper English sausages and made by this little old couple that have been perfecting their recipe for 10 years. Yeah, the paprika on the eggs and coconut cream in the muesli. Proper hippie foods.
It's really good food, and the atmosphere at Dreamcatch is. I mean,
Awesome.
I haven't actually stayed at Dreamcatch yet
Not-
properly.
You've slept on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. I slept on the floor a couple times, but it's I just hang out there because
Yeah.
everyone's just really cool. There's a whole group of
Well,
people
as
that.
I said to one of my colleagues recently, that I only hire hippie girls that exude love.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're all floating around in little pinafores, just wanting to give everybody hugs and reading their aura.
It's actually amazing. Yeah, you just hang out in this group with a bunch of cool chicks, and we have slumber parties.
Yeah, we have movie nights.
We watched The Matrix the other night.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, Matrix 1
that's
and
so
2.
Yeah.
We want to do Alice in Wonderland and Mad Hatter's Tea Party is going to happen soon.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
And
Cool.
we want to do the Star Wars trilogy.
Count me in for Star Wars.
yeah,
Assuming
like-
I'm still, my visa's not up yet. And I'm still
Yeah,
around.
I think we should do that quickly while Nat's ill because she doesn't like Star Wars. But me and my sister are both well up for it. My sister wants to do the full like Leia.
Do it.
She's gonna
head
do
things.
Leia head Cinnabon
Leia
things.
12 things and all
That's
sorts.
amazing.
Is it have a dress up party? Are you going to dress up?
Yeah, well, if people want to dress up, they can dress up.
I think
We're
it
not
should be a
gonna make
requirement, actually, for Star Wars
Mad
movies.
Hatter's
think
Tea
you
Party, we're
should.
definitely going to have hats.
Yeah, exactly. I had hats. All my hats get stolen. I think I've complained about this already
Yeah.
with you. But I have all these. I always get these cool hats that call to me, and then inevitably some girl steals it from me, and it's always like, "Oh, let me borrow this hat," and I never
Yep.
get it back. It's happened 3 times in the last like few weeks. Personal frustration. But you know what's really cool about? I mean, you were saying earlier, there's a fast turnaround here.
Yeah.
And there is relative to say normal businesses, people have jobs, but relative to the backpacker scene, it's actually
Yeah,
pretty long
relative
residence
to the
time, you
backpacker
would say.
scene, people stay here for
Long
a long
residence time in Koh Rong.
When I say it's like, oh, people don't stay around, it's because, I'm used to people leaving after 2 months when it's like, oh, it feels like you've been here no time, but, they
Yeah.
have been here for 2 months.
Exactly. So this is the first place I come,
Right.
and now I've been hanging out with the same crew with all of you guys
Yeah.
for now a week or two, and it's Yeah, I haven't really done that anywhere else I've been backpacking. It's usually, 4 or 5 days, maybe a week if it's a place people stay long,
And
people move on.
My little sister just arrived, and she like was telling people on the mainland, it's like, oh yeah, I think I'll stay for quite a long time, like a month, 6 weeks. And everyone that's been here for a long time is like, that's no time. But when you're backpacking, like staying somewhere a month seems like a long time.
Exactly.
But you know, for the people that are living over here, it's like the people that come and go in a month, like you don't even bother getting to know them. There's some of my friends that say they won't speak to someone unless they've been here at least 2 months.
Oh, wow.
You haven't met them yet, don't worry.
Okay. Well, of course, I've only been here 2 weeks. I haven't met the minimum qualifications yet. But yeah, so I guess
I
you
have
got...
no qualifications whatsoever. But,
you don't even have the right to talk to them.
Yolanda.
You don't have the right to talk to Yolanda, actually.
I speak to everybody.
Yolanda, I'm gonna dub you. I know we've said it a couple times. I want to dub you Queen of Koh Rong, even though it's an unofficial title, so nobody gets upset. We're dubbing you that for this
Queen of Koh Rong.
Queen of Koh Rong. Dave will get upset. He'll think I'm usurping his empire.
But with your unofficial title of Queen of Koh Rong, Yolanda, we just have one last kind of question to wrap things up. What is one thing, you've named so many things already, but what is one other thing that you want to do before you die?
Ooh, my life goal is to get to every country in the world before I die. I've been to, I might be nearing 20% now.
Nice.
So I'm doing well. I haven't done any of Australasia, Central or South America. So I've got a long way to go. Or Africa. I haven't done Africa yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, a long way to go, but I think I'll achieve it.
Yeah, you can get it, for sure.
Yeah.
My buddy Ben, I was traveling with a couple weeks before, and up to when arriving here, he has the same goal.
Yeah, I've met a few people with it. It's everyone will go about it in a different way, but each country I go to, I just find out about more countries I want to go to. Like I went to China, and people were telling me about Uzbekistan and Mongolia and Kazakhstan and all of those places, and now I really need to do a trip around there.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is kind of funny because the more you travel, it's not like you're eliminating things from the list. You're really just adding things to the list.
You add more things. It's like, I thought I wouldn't like Vietnam, so I decided to quickly go through it in 2 weeks, and it just added loads of more places I want to go visit in Vietnam.
Right, now you have to go back and do
now
another
I've got to
round.
go back. Do it again.
Oh, that's awesome. So I guess for anyone coming to Koh Rong, you probably can't help but avoid one of Yolanda's places.
Yeah, but Koh Rong booking at Gmail. That's the thing.
There we
go.
go.
Koh Rong booking at Gmail. You'll get through to whoever takes my job in the future after I leave.
Cool.
They should be able to tell you at least some advice about what's happening on the island whenever you're coming, because it's changed so much in the last year. It will be a completely different place by next year. The businesses that are top now might be rat infested. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's a good one-stop shop for all the information you need.
Koh Rong booking, you'll be able to just find out the deal with the island these days.
Are there like Facebook pages also for the various places?
Like Dreamcatch, Vagabonds, and Island Boys are all on Facebook. We're on Hostel Bookers and Hostel World as well. We don't like taking bookings though. So we only allow like 1 or 2 dorm beds and rooms to get booked up, because really, if you're traveling around Asia, unless it's like a peak period like Christmas, Chinese New Year, don't bother booking ahead. If you want to secure a room, just get the early boat. Like, it's so much better having walk-in customers that like look in, they like the look of the place, they get on with the vibe, than taking people that have like planned the whole trip in advance, then get there and it's not quite what they expected.
Right. I definitely agree with that. The best option for traveling, like just backpacking in general, you don't need to go and plan every detail of your trip. Show up.
Yeah.
And you'll figure it out. You'll find a place.
See what happens. Like, sometimes you'll end up like stuck with your bag somewhere, not really knowing where you're going and what you're doing. But that's when you meet some interesting people that'll help you out.
That's one of the best stories ever. So if you do wander into Koh Rong, check out Vagabonds, Island Boys, and or Dreamcatchin, or whatever project you've got going on.
By that point, I'll have a resort.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Well, thanks for coming on to the show, Yolanda.
Oh, thank
Really
you very
appreciate
much. It was nice to meet you.
Yeah. You still with us, Castle? I don't know. We might have lost
Nope.
Castle.
I think we lost Castle.
I think we lost him. So I'll sign off on behalf of Castle, who usually does. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Walking the Earth podcast. Thanks again, Yolanda, for coming on the show. And we will catch you next time.
Cool.